What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Team to Beat Miami Heat basketball channel. There was a new report by Mark Stein that said the Los Angeles Clippers are quietly gauging Paul George's trade value amongst rival executives. So Paul George has spent the past 4 seasons with the Los Angeles Clippers, and 4 years ago the Clippers gave up one of the biggest trade packages in NBA history to land Paul George. With Kawhi Leonard on the line, the Clippers surrendered Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Danilo Gallinari, and 5 first-round picks and 2 first-round swaps to land the all-star forward in hopes of creating a championship team for the first time in franchise history. And 4 years later, things have not gone exactly according to plan for the Clippers. The Leonard and Paul George duo has only made it through one of the 4 postseasons together healthy, and the only time they did play together in a postseason is when they were in the bubble and they blew that 3-1 lead to the Denver Nuggets. So Paul George and Kawhi Leonard are both eligible for 4-year $200 million plus extensions, and if they don't get them, both can leave as free agents next off season. And so some executives are thinking that the Clippers should be putting out some feels within the market to see if anybody is interested in trading for Paul George, the more likely candidate of the two, even though Kawhi Leonard was injured this season, but so was Paul George. I mean, it feels like every single year both of these guys are hurt. So with that, I mean, they're still both all-star caliber players. Of the two, I'd rather have Kawhi Leonard, of course, but Paul George is 32 years old, even though he is injury prone and has had a vast history with injuries. He still is a top player in the NBA. So why wouldn't the Clippers just put out some feelers out there and see what kind of value they can retain from trading Paul George in case he does agree or doesn't agree for an extension next year. So might as well get something if he's going to walk away the following year as an unrestricted free agent. So again, according to Mark Stein, rival executives believe that the Clippers are gauging George's trade value ahead of the NBA draft. It is unclear at this stage how seriously they would consider trading George or what they would want in return. But such a move would definitely mark the end of one of the more disappointing partnerships in recent NBA history. Similarly to the Nets trio, Harden, Kyrie, and KD was, an epic failure. This would also be a big failure as well because of all of the assets that they traded. And Shai is now becoming and blossoming into one of the best players in the NBA at his position. So as Heat fans, we're looking for some help and some support for Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo. And so we always know that the Heat are in the business of star hunting. And of course, right now, our main priority for the Heat is Damian Lillard. And we need to see what happens in today's draft with the Portland Trail Blazers to see if we can indicate what they're going to do moving forward. If they draft someone at number 3, then that could be an indication that Damian Lillard might be even more annoyed and possibly request a trade, but who knows? I don't know. It seems like Dame is super loyal. He says he wants to win a championship, but if he does and stays with this team, I don't think it's ever going to happen. So we'll see. But the Heat could potentially put an offer out there, and I think it's going to be pretty significant. We just saw a trade for Chris Paul and Jordan Poole to the Golden State Warriors, and CP3 was traded for Jordan Poole along with a couple of draft picks. So Jordan Poole is like 23 years old. Chris Paul's 37. So I guess Jordan Poole is in the doghouse big time because they had to attach those 2 picks for an aging Chris Paul, who's definitely going to be running that second unit as a backup point guard. So I don't know if the Heat will even entertain this. I mean, I would hope they would entertain this. It wouldn't be the best fit in comparison to, getting Damian Lillard at point guard, who would be ultimately the best fit for the Miami Heat. But adding Paul George would be super beneficial. The small forward, he's 6'10", so he is tall. He is lengthy. He is still semi-athletic, and he's a bucket getter. I mean, he averaged 24 points last year, 6 rebounds, 5 assists, 1.5 steals. He shot, I think, 45% from the field and 37% from 3 on high volume. He took about 8 threes per game and still shot at 37%. So he's an amazing 3-and-D player. He could be our 3-level scorer. He would fit in on the defensive end, of course, pairing with Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo. Having those 3 would make us one of the best defensive teams in the NBA. The Heat were already top 10. So I think it would be a good fit. You know, he would be our go-to scorer. The only issue is, again, the price tag and his age and his injury history. So if the Heat could pull this off, I would assume they would need to send, of course, Miami Heat's Tyler Hero, Kyle Lowry, possibly, maybe Nikola Jovic, the 18th pick, so a first-round pick this year, next year, the 26 first-round pick, and then also possibly another pick swap. So I think it would take 3 to 4 first-round picks plus Tyler Hero, plus a few other players in order to get this done. So I'm open-minded to it. I'm from Fresno, and Paul George went to Fresno State, so I do like Paul George as a player. I think he would be a good fit. He would give us, that scoring threat and that 3-and-D player. He would provide us that athleticism and that length that we need. So I think I would be open-minded to it, but ideally I'd still rather have Damian Lillard